Good morning, student. I am Dr. Ritika, faculty of CSC department as an associate professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. Today, I am going to deliver the lecture on the subject of our e-commerce, and today we will cover the topic of our just wait students. Today we will cover the topic of our protecting client computers. So in this it is related to our unit 2, which is include in the implementation security of e-commerce. In this implementation security of e-commerce, we will cover the topic of protecting client computers. So the importance and type of security for client computers are physical security and authentications. In physical security, your user should lock their workstations when they walk away, even for a minute. That is all it takes for. In authentication, every client computer should require a user to log in before using it, whether the credentials are locals. So, next is the anti-malware softwares and secure protocols. In anti-malware softwares, the abundance of malware in the form of viruses, worms, Trojan horse, and more required the use. In secure protocols, where possible, users of client computers should only connect with others. So these are the types and importance of our security of e-commerce in client computers, and these are: first is physical security, second is authentication, third is anti-malware software, and fourth is secure protocol. Now, the use of computer across business of all type has created vulnerability for those business in the individual client computer. So, a client computer is a computing device that connects to a network in one of several ways, but the term typically describes a laptop or workstation computers because the client computer are connected to networks of other computers. If an attacker or a virus gains controls over networked computers, it can be used as a launching pad to attack any or all of the devices on the network. While the user is the weakest link in any security scenarios, there are several things that can be implemented to protect the workstation and the entire network. In physical security, users should lock their workstations when they walk away, even for a minute. So that is all it takes for a malicious co-workers to send out an email in the user's name or suffer a website that downloads a virus or some other software unknown to the pre-protectors. So at the end of the day, lock the room if possible to protect the computer from intruders who gain access to the building. So physical security is the first line of defense for client computers. Users who work from home should log off while they are going to be away from home for an extended period of time. A laptop should never be left on a car seat or a hotel room. In authentication, every client computer should require a user to log in before using it, whether the credentials are local to the computers or stored on an authentication servers. So nobody should be able to use a computer without logging in first. So this stops everyone who is not an authorized user on the computer or the network from using a client machine for malicious purposes. In antivirus software, the abundance of malware in the form of viruses, worms, Trojan horse, and more require the use of anti-malware software on every client machines. So if your one machine becomes infected, all machines on the network will become infected. So viruses and worms spread extremely fast, and it only takes a few minutes to infect every machine on the network, even if there are thousands of them. So large companies should deploy enterprise versions of an anti-malware products on all its client computers. So smaller companies of 100 computers or less may decide to deploy one of the many free offering available, but should use the same software on all client computers. In secure protocol, where possible, users of client computers should only connect with other computers and serve using secure protocols. So one of these is HTTPS or secure HTTP, which creates a secure connection to websites. Another is secure FTP or file transfer protocol, which encrypts user's ID password information, unlike native FTPs. Rather than using telnet to connect to a remote computer, users should use secure cell, which adds security to the remote connections. In firewalls, the last line of the defense for a client computer is personal firewall installed on the machines, while an internet firewalls at the organization's internet connection is the first line of defense. The personal firewall protects the clients from attacks that get through, as well as attacks that originate from within the corporate network. So both Windows and Linux distributions have a client firewalls included, and Windows firewall is pre-configured for default protections. Transactions integrity in e-commerce. It is another topic of transaction integrity in e-commerce. So in transaction integrity, it ensures that any illegitimate users modify to the message can be detected. The modification include insertion, deletion, substitutions, or change to the status of a given message. So integrity involves graduating against improper information modification or destructions, and include ensuring comprises timely, accurate, complete, and consistent data. The information must not be manipulated in any way, either through electronic error or human intentions. Next is the integration integrity in commerce, as integrity violations may occur whether a message is altered while transmitting between the sender and the receiver. So it ensures transaction integrity, which separates two algorithms which are applied to the messages, and these are hash functioning and digital signature. A strong hash functioning ensures that data modification does not go undetected, and by then digitally signing the hash value, one can ensure that the hash can be trusted. So the hash function and the digital signature should be applied to a message for ensuring transactions integrity. In hash function, the hash function are effective tools to help maintain integrity. They are used as primitive for ensuring the integrity of messages and for performing mutual authentication. So it is a process where a data message is passed through an algorithm, which can be considered as a formula or a series of mathematical steps to achieve a particular task. So applying hash function to a data message results in a number which is substantially smaller than the data messages and is called a message digest or hash value. Now in hash functions include, it uses No secret keys. The message digest it produced cannot be inverted to produce the original for information. The algorithm and information about how it works and publicly available. The hash collisions are nearly impossible. Now second is algorithm is a digital signature. An encrypted message digest is called signature. A purchase order accompanied by the digital signature provides the merchant positive identification of the sender and assure the merchants that the message was not altered. To ensure the security of electronic transaction, developing countries are using a framework called digital signature. A digital signature is an electronic signature that can be used to authenticate the identity of the sender of a message, or we can say the signer of a document, and possibly to ensure that the original content of the message or document that has been sent is unchanged. So digital signatures are easy and can be automatically time stamped. So before going to close this topic, firstly just take a little bit review what we have covered and what we have learned about the protecting client computers. In protecting client computer, we have learned two type of security related to your client computer, like physical security and in authentication security. So physical security, authentication security, and next two are anti-malware software and secure protocols. So these are the client computers which is a computing device which connect to network in one of the several ways. So it describe related to the laptop or a workstations. So in next slide we have learned about physical security. So physical security is the first line of defense for client computers, where users work from home should log off while they are going to be away from home for an extended period of time. After that we have learned about the authentication. So these are the credentials of local to the computer or the store and authentication servers where nobody should be able to use a computer without logging in first. Now next we have learned about the anti-malware software. So these are the viruses and worms which are spread extremely fast. So it takes few minutes or infect to every machine on the network. So these client computer required more security to aware from anti-malware softwares. Then we will learn about the secure protocols. So these are the HTTPs and secure HTTPs which create secure connection to your websites. We have learned about another secure protocol are FTP, that are file transfer protocols which can encrypt users ID and password information, unlikely native FTPs. Now after that we have learned the firewall. So firewall for an organization internet connection is the first line of defense. The personal firewall, it protects the client from attack that get through, as well as attack that originate from within the corporate network. So they work as the front line of the defense who can protect our computer from unwanted things. After that we have learned about the transaction integrity in e-commerce. In this we have ensured the illegitimate users modification message can be detected. So they involve some improper information modification or also ensure comprises timely, accurately, completely and consistent data. We have learned about the transaction integrity in e-commerce. After that we have learned about that transactions are to be separated on two algorithms like hash function and digital signatures. But hash function and digital signature should be applied a message for ensuring the transaction integrity in our e-commerce. After that we have learned about hash functioning. So hash functioning is the process where a data message is passed through an algorithm, which can be considered as a formula or a series of mathematical steps to achieve a particular task. It also effective too to help or maintain the integrity, also ensure the integrity messages and perform some mutual authentications. So they gives a particular message, they gives a particular result for performing all the hash functions. Next, we have learned about some hash functions. The use of no security keys also gives an algorithm and information about how it works publicly, nearly impossible, and gives message to produce that cannot be inverted to produce the original informations. After that, we have learned about digital signature. So to ensure the security of electronic transaction, developing countries are using a framework which is known as digital signatures. So they are the some digital signature of the users which can be checked for their security point of views. After that, we have learned more about the digital signature. So this is all over about protecting client computer and some transaction integrity of e-commerce. So students, it is all about our implementation, security and e-commerce. We have covered two topics. I hope these two topics are easy and clear to each and everyone. So students, thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you students.